evening and welcome to Cook Along with Chris Live. Today we're going to be doing Thai fish cakes with an oriental salad, a wasabi mayonnaise and a ginger dressing. So first we're going to do a bit of mise en place. So hopefully you've made your mashed potato. I'm just finishing off my mashed potato now. If you haven't, the first job is to get your mashed potato on. As you can see, I've done my mash. So we're just going to run through the ingredients. So obviously we're going to do pane. So we've got plain flour, 2 eggs, and we're going to have some breadcrumbs in here. You can either use fresh or Waitrose do sell fresh breadcrumbs, but you can make your own otherwise. Just pop them in a blender. So we'll just run through the ingredients. So we've got, so really with fish cakes you can really do whatever you like. You could do smoked haddock, you could do salmon, cod, crab. I'm doing quite a simple one. I'm doing a salmon and a cod fish cake today. And we're going to serve that with an oriental vegetable salad. So we've got some spring onions, some Chinese cabbage, some bok choy. I found some monge too. Some baby corn, some peppers and some bean sprouts. We're going to serve it obviously with some lemons, limes, some nice coriander, some ginger, some garlic. Then we're going to make a wasabi mayonnaise, so literally I'll run through that in a minute. We've got some lemongrass. We're going to put that into the stock and the water when we poach the fish. And then we're going to make a dressing with soya, sesame oil and then my favourite ingredients, which is Dorset ginger. So if you haven't tried this, you should go to their website, www.dorsetgingerlimited. Obviously it's very special to me because it's Dorset, I'm from Dorset, and it's ginger and I'm ginger. But this product is really, really good. It's non-alcoholic, it comes in different flavours. This is the strong one. They have a real nice one with cinnamon and ginger, which is great for desserts. But yeah, we'll run through that a bit later when I use it. So then over here, what we've got, we need a frying pan to cook the fish cakes. I've got some boiling water ready and I've just put a stock cube inside. You can just use plain water, or what you could do if you've got a smoky fish is to use milk, so you can poach your fish in milk. I've got salmon and cod, so they're quite a light fish, so I'm just going to poach it in a little bit of a stock and we're going to add some spices to it in a minute. And then we've got a wok for later to do the vegetables. So hopefully if you're not ready, we need to do the mash. So I'm just going to finish mashing mashed potato off. This dish is perfect for today. It's a nice sunny day. So I'm just mashing the mash. Let's get a nice smooth mash. So if you haven't done your mash, so peel the potatoes and get the mash on while we're chatting. So what we're going to do, we're just going to wait till past, which it is now past. So hi, if you've just joined us, we're going to make Thai fish cakes today with an oriental salad and a Dorset ginger vinaigrette and a wasabi mayonnaise. So what we're going to do first, hopefully you've done your mashed potato. So what we're going to do first is the fish. So you can use whichever fish you want to. I'm using salmon and I'm using cod. So literally, we've got our fish. I'm going to leave it skin on. I'm just going to run my finger and make sure there's no bones. There isn't. So I'm going to pop the fish into the boiling water, which is just water and stock. So I'm going to do, for my recipe, 2 salmon, and 2 cod. Okay, as I said, if you've got some prawns or some crab and it's cooked, then obviously we're not going to pop them in the liquid. So I'm just going to pop in the pan. I've got some rosemary. I've got some lemongrass. So the important with lemongrass, I'll just show you the important with lemongrass. You can either buy it as a long stick. I bought a little jar in Sainsbury's. The important with lemongrass is just to crush it a little bit to get the flavour out. So I'm just going to get a couple of sticks. So I'm going to put a few sticks. I'm just going to give it a little crush. If you've got the one that you've got from the supermarket, you can buy them fresh sticks. So I'm just going to pop those into the pan. And I'm just going to put a little bit of coriander. And then I'm just going to put a little bit of salt. So we're trying to get some spices and some nice flavours into the, if you can smell it, the lemongrass and the coriander is really perfuming, so that should go into the flavour of the fish. Okay. So we're going to cook that for approximately about 6 to 8 minutes. Obviously we want it just cooked, doesn't have to be overcooked because we're going to recook the fish cakes afterwards. So I'm just going to the important is to make sure all the fish is covered. You can get the nice flavour, you can smell the stock. As I said, if you were using If you're using smoked haddock, I would cook it myself in a little bit of milk, just to take a little bit of the smokiness away when you're making the fish cakes. But you could do a smoked haddock and leek fish cake, for example, or smoked haddock and cod. This one's quite good for the children because it's quite a simple fish, cod and salmon. So what we're going to do while we're waiting, we're going to make the vinaigrette up first. So your fish should be cooking, your mash add in a bowl. We're going to add this is just plain sesame oil. 50 ml of sesame oil. We're going to add about half the amount again of soy sauce, and the dressing. And we've got this ingredient, which is our Dorset ginger. So again, it's available. It's basically a Dorset. It's made in Dorset. It's ginger. It's a non-alcoholic. It's very strong. You could use it for a non-alcoholic Pimm's. They've also got a new apple juice and a lemonade out, but I really like the ginger one, and there's one with cinnamon, which is really, really good for dessert. So again, we're going to pop that again so basically you want half Dorset ginger. If you can't find the ginger inside, or a little bit of ginger out. Obviously we're not going to put any salt because soy sauce tends to be salty, so we're just going to whip that together. And as I said, we're going for the split look. It will look nice on the plate. They've got the dark of the ginger and the dark of the soy sauce and the oil. We're just going to have a little taste. I'm actually just going to add a little bit more ginger to it. And I'm actually going to add just a little bit of salt. All soy sauce is different. Some soy sauces are really salty, so we're just going to add a splash of salt to it. So that's our dressing, nice and easy. So we're going to leave that one to the side. We're now going to come over and we're going to do our wasabi mayonnaise. A tin full of mayonnaise. Now obviously everybody's got different taste buds, so this is quite strong. So we're literally just going to put open it. So taking the lid off, so I'm just going to put a little squirt inside. It's quite strong, so we're not after the colour, we're after the taste. So again, just going to give that a little mix. So it should start getting a nice little light green colour. I'm just going to have a little taste, another spoon. I like a bit of kick to mine, so I'm going to add a little bit more. This is just going to give a little kick to the dish when we plate it up. I'm just going to mix together. Our fish is cooking away nicely. That's our mayonnaise ready. So now we're just going to check our fish. Just going to turn it down a little bit. It's starting to flake, so I think just a little bit longer, a couple more minutes, and the fish will be perfect. So what we're going to do, we're going to chop all our vegetables. I've washed all our vegetables. So what we're going to do, I'm just going to do a nice thin strips. Sorry. One's two, I'm just going to cut them in half. You can add any which vegetables you can find, and nice mange too here. Just going to cut a few more in half. If you've got baby bok choy, then you can just actually leave them whole like that. Okay, I've got Chinese cabbage. You just need a very little bit. So I'm just going to do half of this. I've only got the heart. I'm just literally going to just again shred it. So it's like a stir fry, because it's going to be a salad. We're just literally going to get the little. I couldn't find a yellow pepper, so I've got a green one. So again, just thin strips of peppers. I'm going to get the red pepper. Obviously we don't want the seeds or the white bit. We're just going to julienne them. It's a nice, very colourful dish. Okay, then we're going to get, so I've got some baby corn. Depending how big they are, we're just going to literally cut them into 6 strips. Got our 6 strips. Okay, so we're going to cut our corn into 6 again. If they're small, you can just cut them to quarters. And then our spring onion. Now we're going to use the spring onion 2 ways, so we're just going to do little rings of spring onions. Use both the white and the green for this dish. Cut the end off. So you need about 3 spring onions. These are quite large, so I'm just going to use 2. Then we're going to get some ginger. So ginger, just going to take a chunk. Let's get rid of the scraps. And then I'm just going to do small strips, always keeping a flat surface and keeping the knife behind you. You might be able to put it in a garlic press if you wanted to. I'm just doing small dice. So slice it one way. Obviously with this recipe, if you wanted to, you could add some chilies. You could add more spices if you want to. I'm serving it to the children afterwards and they're not really great fans of spices, so we're just going to keep it quite simple. Some ginger, coriander. So we've got our ginger. Some little dice of ginger. The ginger and then we've got a little bit of garlic. Peeling the garlic. So I've got the garlic. I'm just going to flatten it. Just makes it sit down with the knife. And then just literally, if you've got a garlic press, you can use that. So we're just literally going to chop garlic. Obviously, if you like garlic, you can add more. Okay, so that's all our vegetables done. So now we're going to go back over to our fish. So on a plate, we're just going to carefully lift out the fish. As you can see, it's starting to flake. I'll get the last one out. Just going to go a little bit fishing, see if I can see a bit of cod floating around, a few bits of cod. All our nice. So then what you could do, we're not using the fish stock in this recipe, but you've now got a really nice fish stock, so you could actually pass it, chill it and freeze it, If you ever need fish stock or for a fish soup, you've got a beautiful sauce. Just going to pour that inside. So we're just going to leave that there for 1 second. Literally peel off the salmon skin. We don't really want the fat brown bit, so again, just peel that off. Off really, really easily. Keeping out a nice salmon. I'm going to just move some of the vegetables out of the way. Then we're going to get a bowl. We've got our bowl. We're going to pop the cod inside. I mean, you can wait a little bit if you want it to cool down, or you can wear some gloves if you're not used, or you can just let it cool down a little bit. When you flake it, it cools down quite quickly. So we're going to pop our salmon in. Nice bits. Any little bits of fish we've got. So we don't want to crush it, we're just going to literally flake. We're just going to leave that to one side. And we're just going to, in the pan. So our frying pan, we're going to use the same pan for cooking the fish cakes. So we're just going to put a little bit of olive oil inside. I've got a new bottle, so I just need to take it off. A little bit of olive oil inside. Now, for this dish, you don't need to cook the spring with the garlic and the ginger. Half of the spring onions, or some of the spring onions. So we're literally just going to get a little, in the garlic a little bit with a few spring onions. Just helps to, a little bit of salt. We're just going to give them a little fry. This is really good because we're going to use the same pan, so you'll have all the nice flavours of the ginger and the garlic in the pan when we cook the fish cakes. So we're literally just going to give that just a few seconds of ginger. And fry away nicely. So while that's cooking, we're going to go back to our fish. And while we're waiting, I'm just going to coriander. If you're not a great fan of coriander, because I know quite a few people don't like coriander, you could do flat parsley. Again, just a little. You could use flat parsley. You could put basil in there, but obviously we're trying to go for a Thai, so a little bit of coriander. I'm going to pop that in with the fish. We're going to pop them inside there. We're going to pan fry the fish cakes in the same pan. So again, a little mix. So you can see it's starting to be nice and colourful. Again, if you wanted to, you could add a little bit of chopped chilli. Right, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to add the zest and the juice of a lime. So I'm using a Parmesan grater, or you can use a zest. You could use lemon if you wanted to. And turn over, scrape it off. So I'm going to add a squeeze. I'm going to put half a lime in my, because I've got a really big juicy lime juice in. Right, now we're going to add the mashed potato. Now I've just made my mash, so it's a bit warm. If your mash is cold, you might just want to heat it up just a little bit. It doesn't have to be boiling hot. I made a bit for lunch tomorrow as well, so I'm just going to see how much we need. I think the biggest disappointment people have with fish cakes is people put too much mash inside. It's meant to be a fish cake. It's not meant to be a potato cake with fish. It's meant to be a fish cake with a little bit of mash just to bind it together. So there we go. Now if you want, some people prefer to let the mix set a little bit. Obviously with time I'm just going to go straight away and do it. So we've got our mix. So I've just washed my hands, so we're going to make... You can even make 2 little, just rolling into a ball and flattening it. And I'm going to put mine straight into the flour, so we'll go over here. So we've got over here, we've got our flour, so I'm just going to pop them in the flour. Just going to make 2 while we're... So I've made another one. So now at this point, you could pop them in the fridge. They're easier to handle if they're a little bit not so hot. So literally, I'm going to do 3. Just going to wash my hands. I'll make the rest a bit later on. Right, so in there it's just plain flour and salt. So this is the messy part of the job here. So then we've got 2 eggs. Just going to beat the eggs up. I just use eggs. Some people do put a little bit of milk. So we've got our eggs. Just going to open our breadcrumbs. You can use pancake breadcrumbs, crisp breadcrumbs. We normally make our own. I was just saying that you can buy them in Waitrose. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to add a little bit of mixed herbs to my breadcrumbs. And then something that's really, really nice, just adds that little bit, especially for fish cakes, is if you just put a little bit of lemon zest in your breadcrumbs. When you cook it, it's got that real nice flavour. If you were doing chicken, you could do a little bit of lemon, a little bit of thyme, or a little bit of flat parsley. Just a little bit, just in the breadcrumbs. Just makes that little flavour when you cook them. So I'm just, while we're waiting, I'm just going to put the pan back on. So I'll put the pan on the same pan. So I've just put the pan on the medium heat, and I'm just going to put a little bit of olive oil in the pan. Now I'm not deep frying mine, I'm shallow frying mine. So I'm just putting a little bit of oil at the bottom. Just going to put on a low heat, just so that when we're ready to do the breadcrumbs, we can pop the fish cake straight in. So we can come back over here. So we're going to go, so the best way to do it is to keep one hand free. So we're going to do one hand with the flour. So we're going to pick our fish cake up, and we're going to put it in the egg. Going to roll it in the egg. And then we're going to carefully pick him up and pop him into... So if you keep one hand, you've never got a spare hand, or if you need to turn the tap on, because this is a messy job. So there we go. Got our fish cake. So now you could either, if you put them in the fridge just for about 10 minutes before you pan them, they just hold a little bit better, and then you don't need to put them afterwards. So again, we're just going to do the same again. Into the egg. Roll him over. Just make sure it's got a bit of egg on it. And we're going to pop him in the breadcrumb. Sprinkle some breadcrumbs. Once they're in the breadcrumb, you can reshape them to the shape you want them to be. Just going to do the last one. Going to roll him over. Make sure he's got a nice bit of egg on him. Just going to make some room over here. Might need a few more breadcrumbs. Just going to pop him in the dish. Just going to wash my hands. That's the worst part about paneing food, is you get it all over your fingers. Just add a little bit more breadcrumb. So again, now they're ready, so we're going to come back over here. Our oil, spring onions. So we're just going to shape them with your hand, pop them down, get that nice sizzle as you put them in the pan. Now, depending how you use hot fish and hot mashed potato, and I haven't put them in the fridge at all, so I can just pan fry mine, put them in the fridge to set. You might need to pop them in the oven for about 5 minutes, fish and hot mash, and then it's fine. Leave them to cook. if you've got any lemongrass trimmings left over, you can just pop a bit of lemongrass in the oil. Just going to let them form nicely. So the secret, you've got to try to cook them so they go nice and golden brown before you turn them over. The less you turn them over, the better. But obviously you don't want them to go black, so it's just getting that balance right. I'm just going to leave them to fry away nicely. While we're doing that, I'm just going to now we're going to wok our vegetables. You can use a frying pan if you want to, you don't have to use a wok. So I've got a stainless steel wok, it's going to heat up really quick. And then my wok's being a bit naughty today. So now it's just got a little bit of sesame oil. Just going to put a little bit in there. And then literally, we're only going to just quickly pop the vegetables in. Because it gets hot quite quickly. Just going to pop all our vegetables in. It's a salad, so we're not really cooking, we're just giving them a quick, just to take the edge off them off. The nice colourful, literally just a quick. And then I'm going to add, last I'm going to add the bean sprouts. So, and then what we're going to do, just a very little bit of our dressing. But be careful it doesn't burn when you add it. So you can see we've added that nice, it's going to give it a nice gingery flavour, the soya sauce, the sesame oil. Now I'm not going to put any salt because I know the dressing's got enough salt in for the dish. And again, we don't want, like, it's not a stir-fry vegetable, it's a light salad, so we're just literally, just to give the peppers a little bit of, take the edge off. We're going back to our fish cakes. We're going to give our fish cakes, oh look at that, perfect timing to turn them over. They're nice and golden brown. That's where people go wrong with fish cake. If you keep turning them, the mixture becomes really soft and it all breaks. So literally, if you form 3 minutes on one side, 3 minutes on the other side, if you have put them in the fridge, it's really important that you do put them through the oven. If you've done the way I've done it, so the fish is hot, the mash is hot, and literally a nice pan fry, they'll be warm in the middle. The worst thing you want is cold fish cakes in the middle. So my stir-fry veg is ready. As I said, we don't want it for our peppers, our baby corn, our Chinese cabbage. I put some manchow in there, whatever you've got lying around, some bok choy. If you want to go, if you've got children eating this, what works really well is to add a little bit of mango, some julienne of mango. So while we're done, we're going to start plating up. Different ways to plate this dish up. Okay, so we're going to, the fish cakes will be ready. So we're going to come and start plating up. So we've got our wasabi mayonnaise. Now if you've got a squeezy bottle, you can do little dots on the plate. If not, we're going to do the MasterChef swipe. So basically, 1 dollop, and then you get the back of the spoon and you slide it across the plate as fast as you can. So it looks like a smiley face. And we're going to add a little bit of our salad in the middle. It's really important with this dish that you've got all these nice flavours, just to make sure that you give everybody a little bit of everything. So we've got a bit of red pepper there. Just going to put a bit of corn on to make sure they've got corn. We've got a little bit of bok choy. Just, you don't want one of your guests to have everything. You want to make sure everybody's got a little bit of everything. Some nice. Okay. Then we've got our split dressing. So again, just a little mix. You can smell this, that ginger, the Dorset ginger inside. Seriously, you need to check out their website, which is dorsetginger.com. It is amazing. So just literally, I'm not going to try, I'm going to keep it away from the mayonnaise. Just going to split it, and as you can see, it sort of splits on the plate, maybe a little bit on the top. And you can see the oil is splitting from the ginger. And now we're going to get our fish cake. depending how hungry you are. I'm just going to put one on the plate. I'm just going to pop the fish cake on the top. And I'm just going to garnish it with just a sprig of coriander. So there we have Thai fish cakes with oriental vegetable salad, wasabi mayonnaise and a Dorset ginger, soya and sesame oil dressing. Perfect for a day like this weather. Also, what we'll be doing next week, next week at the same time, 6:30, so it might be live from Stoke Park next week rather than my lovely kitchen at home. We're going to be making a warm chicken salad with watercress, asparagus and a poached egg. We're going to teach you how to make the perfect poached egg, and it's going to be served with a rose harissa and natural yogurt dressing. So another nice summery dish. Asparagus is just still in season for a few more weeks. So we're going to do, it'll be a beautiful, nice summery salad. So we'll do that at 6:30 or 6:20 for mise en place, 6:30. Hopefully it'll be live from Stoke Park in our kitchens. And don't forget, if you would like any of the recipes, they're available in my cookbook, over 65 recipes, available at www.chefchriswheeler.com, $7.50 including P&P. It's a bargain. We hope you enjoy your fish cakes this weekend. Enjoy the weather. Hopefully it's going to be as good as it has been the last few days. And we look forward to seeing you all at 6:20, 6:30 next week. Thank you very much.